Can you give him a little tape on the buttons?
No, I mean, yeah. Okay, let's go. Let's do this thing. What does that mean?
That's your camera.
So we're airing. We're already going. All right, guys, here we go. My producers are doing crazy stuff here. All right, let's see what we can do. Here we go. We're getting ready to start this whole thing. And 2 is me, right? All right, well. Oh, 1 is me. Hey, okay. How's everybody doing? All right, welcome. Good to see you. I'm Coach Clay Banks, and I'm here in my studio, CBSI, Clay Banks Studio International, and we have some new technology that we're working with. If you've been following me, you're going to see that the studio's looking a little different, and that's because we're advancing with the technology, and it's all new. I have to be pressing buttons while I talk to you, so we're going to see how this whole thing plays out. If you guys are seeing a good picture, if you're hearing good audio, I'd love for you to comment on whatever platform you're watching, whether it be YouTube TV, Instagram, or Facebook. Thanks for tuning in. Love to hear where you're coming in from, so if you drop that in the chat, it lets us know that we're broadcasting a good, clear signal, so we thank you for that as well. All right, fantastic. So this is going to be an exceptional teaching, and my intention with this teaching, on intention, is to have you understand more about living and acting with full intention and the importance of intention. What happened?
There you go.
What was off?
May not have you.
Oh, so they weren't hearing any of that. They weren't hearing any of that. I'm going to start over. Okay, guys, here we go. Thanks for tuning in. I am Coach Clay Banks, and for those of you that have been following, you'll see that I am in a different studio location because we have been changing things here in the studio to bring you better quality teachings, better audio, better video, and we are in the process of, as they often do, working out the bugs. So I'd love to hear in the comment, in the chat, wherever you're tuning in from, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is, wherever you're seeing this, just put in the chat whether or not you feel the video feed is coming through clear and looking good, and if the audio is coming in clear and looking good. We'd love to hear that. Also love to hear where you're coming in from as well. We do read all the comments. So thank you so much for that. For those of you that don't know me, I am Coach Clay Banks, and I am bringing you a teaching on intention. And my intention with this intention is to bring you a better, fuller, more complete understanding of the importance of living with and acting with full intention. And my intention, playing with the words here, is to see that you guys really, really walk away from this teaching with a fuller understanding on how to bring more dynamic to your presentations, whether it's your auditions, your acting, your speaking, your teaching, your presenting, whatever you're doing. When you get a handle on this whole dynamic of intention, it's guaranteed to change the game for you. So I've got to press some buttons and do some things here that's all brand new to me. So we're going to roll through this and we're going to get started with intention and what intention is basically all about. So let's take a look here at intention. I just want to ask my producer, is that background going to be like that, or is it split screen like that? How is that going to be? Is that good? Are we good?
It's just the background is a duplicate of that split screen.
Is that what's being seen?
Yeah.
So we don't really like that. It's kind of confusing, right?
Yeah.
So we don't want to do that. Okay, we're going to stop that right there. I'm going to go to this, and I'm going to go to this, and see how there we go. How about that? That way you guys can see me and I can present this as well. All right, thanks for bearing with us on the bugs, and we're going to jump right into this. And what is the importance of intention, and how is it going to change your game? So in this series, you're going to get some very powerful words that are going to impact you. So when we are done roughly 40 minutes from now, I really want to let you, I want you to let these words sink in and let them occupy space in you, because this is a shift that needs to take place internally with the way that you approach life and the way that you approach what it is that you're doing, to live with more intention. Okay? So let's take a look at this word intention and what it actually means. In the yellow, as you can see there, it's a mental state representing a commitment to carry out an action or actions. Now, we're going to build on this. So if you're tuning in now, stay through the whole thing. At the end, you're going to see how it all ties together and really delivers a powerful punch for you when we're finished. Intention is living with purpose, with an objective, an aim, or a plan. Intention is focused living in the moment, really understanding how to captivate the here and the now. That's what intentionality is all about. So let's take a look at why it's important. Why do we need intention in the first place? What's that all about? Let me see what I can do here. Okay, great. So here's the thing with intention. Overall, people don't generally live with intention. And when we are acting or performing or asking people to put focus on us because we're doing something, now this is where we need to live with full intent and full purpose. Because what it does is it produces more energy, which produces more interest. And at the end of the day, that's what every performer, speaker, presenter, teacher really needs to have, is interest. Because without interest, it's like you're going to lose your audience. They're not going to be paying attention to you. So let me dig into this thing. And again, I'm playing with these buttons, so bear with me. It's all kind of new. And let's see how we do here. Okay, so let's look at the problem first. The problem that we deal with is in life, we live general. In regular general living, we don't live on purpose and we don't live with specificity. Overall, people live in a vague, uncommitted generalization. It's just a functionality. It's like, let's find the comfort zone and let's operate in the comfort zone. And then there's a lot of very diffused, weak words that we use, like whatever, okay, anytime, it doesn't matter, I don't care, whatever you'd like to do, la la la. These are not very powerful words and they don't command much attention. And that's how, I'd say, a majority of the people in our country actually do live in a lot of countries. I'm sure things are very different in third world countries and impoverished areas because of the bottom of this slide. These are exceptional situations. People will live with more intent and more purpose in an emergency situation and in immediacy. Something that's really calling our attention will raise our intention to go to work on something. So for example, let's say there's a fire. Fire! Ooh, all of a sudden, boom, boom, boom. You're in an airport, alarms go off. Whoa, our intention goes up. Whenever there's a special type of a situation, our intention will be activated. Well, what I want to bring to your attention and to challenge you with is that that is needed when you are performing. It's needed for you to be able to be in those states. Now, part of the rub is we don't operate at that level. Why? Well, let's move through here. Here's why. It takes energy. It takes more effort and more energy to live on point with purpose and with focus than it does to live in a generality. And that's why people don't generally work on those muscles and those skills, because we're creatures of comfort. We want to do what we have to. We work so that, because we have to work in most cases, to make enough money to provide ourselves with the luxuries and the things that create comfort for us and excitement and entertainment. All right? Unless you are a specialist, you're generally not going to live with this type of intent and commitment and purpose because of these reasons right here. It takes more care to be intentional. It's riskier to make strong choices. You know, you start making strong choices, now you're standing for something. When you stand for something, you need to defend that thing. And it opens up a whole nother arena of living that a lot of people just don't want to operate in. And a lot of you are entertainers and actors and performers that need to be in that space. Well, let's just look at it. Let's say you're studying once a week and you're in a 4 or 5 hour class of whatever it is your focus is. Well, there's 168 hours in a week. And if you're only giving 5 to what you're doing, that's 163 hours you're working against every week for the 5 hours that you're working towards your development and your training. You see, there's the issue right there. So I want to help you so that in your everyday life, you're going to be training towards your performance life. We live in a general zone, in a comfort zone, but then we have to perform in a peak state zone, in a performance zone. We have to live with intention. And what is intention? Again, it's living with commitment and it's living with action. Focused, specific action. Okay, let's move on through this. Okay, here's the rub. Regular living doesn't manifest the energy that's necessary to create the interest that we're looking for, that we're asking people in most cases to pay us for. Because if you're speaking, if you're presenting, if you're teaching, if you're acting, chances are you want to be paid for that. So you're asking people to pay you money to do something that needs to operate at a level different from what they're operating at. Specific living does create the interest. And so that's the key point that I want to drive home to you with this teaching. When we're acting, performing, and presenting, we need to captivate attention. And this is done with proper intentionality and clear choices. Trust me, let this build. As this builds for you, it's going to make more and more sense. And even if you only walk away with 10% of this information, it's going to help you. But you can always go back and you can review this at a later time. Without specificity, without direction of our energies, they're going to be dispersed and diffused. And that's not going to create the interest that's necessary to make a dynamic presentation or give yourselves a dynamic performance. Okay, so here are your solutions. And I want these words to really, really sink in for you as we go through this. Focus, direction, purpose, plan, commitment, choice, care, and then practice is putting it all into practice. We're going to take each one of these words and we're going to break them down, and I'd like to see them occupy more of your bandwidth, so to speak, because we got all these things, and you can kind of monitor yourself. Let me see here for a minute. Let me do this. Okay, I'm getting the hang of this, I think. Okay, you can monitor yourself and take a look at, okay, what are my thoughts doing during the day? Being a little bit more mindful or conscientious about what you're thinking about while you're living your day, while you're interacting with your friends and your family. What is your mind doing? Get in check with it. Now, at the end of this teaching, I'm going to give you a litmus test and an assignment so you can see where you are and where you need to go in order to take your intentional living and your intentional performing to the next level. Okay, it's going to be really, really cool. But let's get back to these words here for a minute. Okay, focus, direction, purpose, plan, commitment, choice, care, and of course, practicing these things. So let's roll through with the first one, and this is focus. Okay, focus is your central point. Here we go. I think that's good. Yeah, I think I can put myself down here too, can't I? Yeah, I can put myself there at the bottom too. Okay, that's pretty cool. Again, all this technology is new, so as I'm figuring it out, I appreciate you guys, your patience and grace. Okay, so let's take a look at focus and what the word focus actually means. Focus is having a central point of interest. That means your mind isn't scattered on a whole lot of things. It's wanting to know something. It's engaging you in another level. And when you activate your passion and your emotion, now what's passion and emotion and enthusiasms? That's the activation of your feelings. Not just getting your thoughts involved in what you're doing, but also your feelings. So like for acting, a very common expression is the actor's in their head. You can see them. They're in their head. They're in their head. They're in their head. What does this mean? It means you're up in your thoughts. You're processing information and you're thinking. You're not necessarily engaged in your full being and allowing your passion and your enthusiasm to be activated. I'll give you an idea. I was coaching a young man yesterday, 18 years old. And he's under the care of, still he's under the care of his mother. And she looks after him. And He's just starting to find his way into life. And I needed to do a self-tape with this guy.